So Trump just tweeted like a maniac again, and unfortunately, this is real news. So there's two tweets that are particularly concerning. In one, he attacks the Mueller investigation for what? The 100th time? No, no way. It's more than that, right? 200th time, 300th time. So if Bill Clinton attacked the Whitewater investigation like a maniac, nonstop, hundreds upon hundreds of times, said, "Shut it down! It's 13 angry Republicans, and I'm not going to let them finish." People would have lost their minds. The impeachment might have actually succeeded, etc. So now he's calling it, this is important, an illegal scam. Because if you're the president and you're in charge of the executive branch and you just start calling things illegal, maybe it gives you a pretense to shut it down, even though it's an investigation of yourself. By the way, if you're a Republican, never ever say that you're for law enforcement again. Never ever say that you're for the rule of law again, because you're not. You're fascist in your heart, just like Donald Trump is. And you don't believe in our system of government. You don't believe in checks and balances. You don't believe in our Constitution. He's calling it illegal now. I don't know what those implications are. I know why he's doing it, because he's guilty. He's in a panic. Michael Cohen's flipped on him. Michael Cohen has been his fixer. You know who needs fixers? Criminals. That's who needs fixers. He's been a lifelong criminal. And now he's the president. That puts him in a very dangerous situation. It puts our democracy in a dangerous situation. So he's going after the investigation full force. Unsurprising there. Then he goes after the press. Now, he's already said they're fake news a billion times. He's already called them the enemy of the people. That is so dangerous. A newspaper got shot up. All those people killed. He doesn't care. He just had a meeting with the New York Times over the weekend. The New York Times said, "Look, what you're doing is dangerous. We now have armed guards in front of our building." And he's like, "Oh, you didn't already?" This is a fascist. You know where we get freedom of the press from? The United States Constitution. I know right-wingers hate that document. They can't stand it. They'd like to shred it. There's only one thing they like in there, which is the Second Amendment. But in terms of protecting our privacy, they despise it. They don't like the Fourth Amendment. They don't like due process. They don't like the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment, and they certainly don't like the First Amendment. They only like the First Amendment if they think it gives corporations and billionaires the right to spend unlimited money bribing our politicians. That's their interpretation of the First Amendment. The First Amendment actually protects not only freedom of speech, but freedom of the press. And so what did he do? On top of all that, he sent out a tweet saying the press is endangering lives. It's putting lives at risk. What does that do? That sets up a pretense to imprison people who write things he doesn't like. So he's an enemy of the truth, because the truth does not help him. The truth is that he has violated an incredible amount of laws, and not just now, and not just during the campaign, but throughout his life. So there's a reason why he had the same lawyers as the mob did. There's a reason why he borrowed all that money from Russian oligarchs. There's a reason why he's in the same part of Deutsche Bank, in the same Bank of Cyprus that did all that money laundering. There's a reason why his son said over and over again, "Where did we get the money? We got it from the Russians." Okay, so what's he gonna do? Like all good fascists, I don't want to get caught. So why don't I imprison the people who are telling the truth and just kill the press? If I don't like the press, why don't I just put them in jail? They're putting lives at risk. I don't like an investigation of me. Why don't I destroy the rule of law? Why don't I destroy the FBI? Why don't I destroy law enforcement? Right-wingers, if you support Trump in any of these things, never say you're for the Constitution. Never say that you're for America and our system of government. And never ever say that you're for law enforcement, because that's a lie. If you agree with Trump, you agree with this fascism that is against our system of government, that attacks anything that brings you the truth and anything that actually enforces the rule of law. That's what's happening. And those tweets this weekend are dangerous. If he starts acting on those and people do not stop him, and he starts putting people in prison or firing people who are investigating him, then this country is not what it used to be, and there's no rule of law left, and there's no constitutional order left. And that is exactly where Trump wants to drive us. And by the way, one, he does it to protect himself because, of course, he's guilty. That's why he's in an unbelievable panic right now. Right? Look at the tenor of the tweets. He sounds like an absolute madman screaming into the ether, oh, they're illegal scam, witch hunt. And he says 13 angry Democrats. Dude, you're the angry one. You're the one, even though you're president of the United States, tweeting like an imbecile, a madman, a lunatic, totally out of control. That's because he's guilty. He did it. And he's not going to just surrender. He's not going to just give himself in. He's going to try to destroy anything that would put him away, including the country and our form of government. And the final icing on the top of this cake is Putin has got to be laughing so hard. I got this guy under control. And even look, you're for some reason you hate evidence and you don't believe that Russia and Trump have anything to do with each other, despite the 32 indictments. And you're in a conspiracy theory where you think the FBI, the entirety of the FBI, has made up this conspiracy, etc. Okay, then Putin thinks, how did I get this lucky? He's going against all of his allies. He's going against Canada. He's going against NATO. Me and the dictators are the only thing he likes. And now the icing on the cake is he's shredding the American form of government as president. I think that Donald Trump is way more guilty than people realize. This is not about a couple of tweets during the election. This is not about fake news and social media during the election. This is Donald Trump having colluded with the Russians way before he started running for president. And now he will do anything to destroy people that are coming after him, including destroying our Constitution and our form of government. And it is not an exaggeration. Read those tweets. They are maniacal.